My name is Dr. Donna Nickerson, and I am the owner of the Shack Farmers Market Health and Wellness Incorporated. In 2015, well, I'm first from Central Texas. I grew up in the Clifton area, so I'm native to Central Texas. Family is from there. Parents live there, and they were doing cancer treatments back in 2017. So I had to travel back to Waco almost, several times a week to help them with cancer treatment. So my family had that business since the early 90s, and it was a vacant building for many years. And my mom and dad no longer wanted to keep that thrift store open. It used to be a thrift store. Before the thrift store, it was a grocery store many years ago, like in the 50s. So my family owned it since the 90s. So in 2015, I started to develop it. I worked on the soil. I started planting over there. And my vision for that place in 2015 was to have a place in Waco where we could educate people how to grow and how to garden, and for people to have access to organic veggies, herbs, and fruit, that sort of thing. Because there wasn't anything in that area at that time, relating to growing and educating. So I also provided pro bono services there for psychotherapy, because I'm a psychotherapist by trade. So when I was in town, offering pro bono services to the community, and we still do that today. And that's kind of how the Shack got started. I was forced to come to town, needed to do some work, and I'm like, well, while I'm here, I need to do something, and that's how we got started. And then 2017, after I did some remodeling of the place, got the soil correct, started planting, doing a lot of things with the growing areas, we opened in 2017. We are open from March through June, so we're only open 3 months out of the year. And because of my schedule, because I live in DFW and I run a practice here, so I designate March through June to run the Shack. So that's kind of where our weird hours come from. And people are like, well, why are you only open 3 months out of the year? So that's one reason. Another reason is it's peak for growing season. So most people, they only grow in the spring, which we grow year round. And then we're open from Fridays from 2 to 6, and Saturdays from 9 to 6 in the spring. In the off season, we are typically growing. We do a lot of community work. So during the off season, I'm developing church gardens, school gardens, doing volunteer work, educating, but mainly doing a lot of growing. My goal is to get people to grow, educate people on how to grow their own food. And, now with being part of Scrap, my goal is to educate people on how to compost, and, why composting is important, what we can do, to divert food waste. So our goal in the project is education, to teach people how to divert the food waste and how to compost and how to use that compost in their plants, whether that's their gardens, raised beds, even houseplants. So there's, several reasons there, from a psychotherapist standpoint, gardening has a lot of stress reduction aspects to it. So, I don't impose that on people, but I try to bring that to surface for a lot of people, because there's a lot of people that may not come in for therapy to address depression, to address stress. So if I can reach people through gardening, and I can help them understand that that is a way for stress reduction, and in the soil, there is a natural bacterium called Mycobacterium vaccae, which decreases the serotonin levels, increases the serotonin levels of the brain, which makes us happy when we touch dirt. Well, continuing to educate the community, continuing to help others develop gardens. And a lot of times with gardening, a lot of people have had bad experiences. They haven't been very successful with it. And a lot of people are like, no, I kill everything. I've tried it. But some of the, foundation pieces, some of the foundation education, a lot of people are missing. A lot of people just, they go buy a plant and then they plant it and then it dies, but they don't understand soil health. They don't understand how to correct the soil, how to compost. So that's kind of where we come into play, where we can provide that education, encourage people, and, people that haven't been successful, help them to be successful with growing. So, people have come to the shack that have failed a lot of times with gardening, but then when they attend our classes or they come and talk to me, they're like, oh, I just grew my first melon. I just grew my first tomato. And they get excited. So, it helps them not only with stress reduction, but it helps provide food for themselves, their families. And we're trying to do, work with the schools too. So schools, churches, it's great for kids. It's great for churches. We also do gardening activities at nursing homes. So I just did a nursing home not too long ago where we went in and we did a planting activity with residents. So it's something that can benefit anyone. Well, we did our first project last year, and it's very new, beginning stages. But now with the new grant, we have it for 3 years. So I think that's really going to give us a great opportunity to get a lot of work in and a lot of in the community. Whereas last year, we were just starting to work with one another, learn each other. But now we're at more an advanced level where we can really start to see the work being done in the community and start to see a lot of change. We have a pretty good social media presence. So our opening day, which will be in March, and we usually announce that on all of our social media platforms. So our opening day, we're pretty full. People are excited, because we've been closed all year. So we open back in March. So people come get their plants. I'm always out there. So they can always come out and talk to me. As far as events, we have gardening classes, composting classes, and we always try to have events that center around gardening. So we'll have presentations. We'll also have different people in the community come out, different vendors come out. So we're always having something out there. Well, gardening takes time, but a lot of times people, they don't understand soil health. And a lot of times if we just put a plant, soil, and water it, we expect that it's supposed to grow. But if the health is not at a level where your stuff can be healthy and grow, then you're not going to be successful. So, our goal is to educate people on soil health. And if you go on our platforms, I'm always talking about compost, even way before we did scrap. I've always been talking about compost and soil health and, how to correct soil. But not to be discouraged. If you kill a plant, it's okay. I kill lots of plants. People don't feel like, yeah, right. But it happens. But just keep trying. I think it's been really good to collaborate with other community, organizations and kind of look at each of our strengths and help, bring that to the table. So every partner has their own strength. There's things that we're great at and there's things we might not be so good at, but being able to identify those strengths and put them together in a group, to me, that's, exciting. And I think, future work with the collaboration is just going to get better. Well, we will help you learn how to grow, teach you how to grow. We have all kind of plants that are available. We also donate to the community, so people that have events or maybe things that center around gardening. We've donated plants to several events and organizations, schools, nursing homes, different events that happen in the community. So we can donate. But just teaching people, how to garden and most definitely how to compost.